So we're recording now. And I also want to introduce to you the two people who are right now at our new shelter location. Morgan Ritz, who is behind the camera. That's her hand. She is the Cat Connection president. And the person that you're seeing right there is our shelter director, Stephanie Yema, and she's going to walk us through the building. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and joining us for this evening. We're really excited to show you our space. This is new for all of us, so if I'm being honest, I'm a little nervous, but more than anything, I'm super excited to show you what we've been working really hard for over the past few months. So just to give you a little bit about this shelter, this space was previously approved for animals, which helped make this a little bit easier for us to transition into a shelter. So I'm going to go through bit by bit and kind of give you the layout. A lot of it doesn't look anything like it's going to look like, but you're getting, I'm going to try to paint a visual for you if I could. So just to let you know, we are located in Brighton. We are on Chestnut Hill Avenue, which is a pretty good location. If you'll bear with the sound outside for me for a moment, we're going to take a step out and I'm just going to give you a street view and let you know a little bit about this area. So join me this way. Coming out onto the street, in this neighborhood, it's a really good central location. 10 minutes in this direction, we do have Cleveland Circle, which if you're familiar with the area, the green line runs right through here. So about a 7 to 8 minute walk for one of the green line stops will guide you right to us. In about 8 to 10 minute walk in the other direction is going to be Brighton Center. So we're pretty much in between both of those major hubs, which this is the main road, as you can tell by the noise and the traffic coming through. It's a good location. We have some good neighbors. We've got a coffee shop, we've got restaurants, we've got some amazing Greek food, and it looks as though we're going to get a new neighbor who'll be offering some fresh Mexican food, which we're excited for. I specifically am really excited for. So as you can see, you get a little glimpse of the neighborhood. One of the bonuses to this area, the parking is free, but it's not ample. So it's a little tricky, but it is possible, so you just have to be patient. So if we follow our way back inside here, I'm going to give you kind of a bit by bit breakdown on what we have in mind for the shelter. Come on in. So if I start with this space here, what we have is a pretty big long wall that stretches across the entire building, so to say. This space is going to turn into 3 very large pods in which we'll house all of our cats. The idea is to say, hypothetically speaking, we have a very large pod here that will be separated by a material that will create privacy, it will be easy to clean, it will be stress-free and safe for the cats. And when we have these main windows here, you can see they're great, but also in order to keep some of the stress down for the cats and to keep them comfortable, we're going to make it easy for them to sit in the window, have some cat trees, some cat perches, so that they get to enjoy that. But to the exterior, it's going to be a mirror so that people can't see in and, you know, knock on the windows, try to, you know, say hi to the cats. That might cause some scare, that might fear, you know, give them a little bit of fear. We want to keep them comfortable. So again, we have one major pod here. Our goal, hopefully, you know, it's going to be a little trial and error, so to say, where we want to see maybe 3 to 5 cats housed in each pod. Primarily, what's going to be most important is, are they happy? Are they comfortable? And are they stress-free? That's our main goal here with our numbers. So we'll have one large pod here. Following down, we'll have 2 separators in between. This will be made out of a reinforced fiberglass panel, and that will create a solid barrier from floor to ceiling that will be easy to clean. It'll create stress-free environment for the cats, and it'll also give them the privacy that they need so that there's no stress in regards to them all being connected together. So we'll have the one here, we'll have a second pod here, and then this last corner, that will be our last 3rd pod. If we come over to this section, this corner here will then also be a similar style, but on a smaller basis. And the point for this corner being a little bit smaller is that it's going to be kind of like our quiet nook. For any cats who's a little bit more shy, a little bit more fearful, or maybe just doesn't do so well being introduced to other cats. That's our concept, is to kind of put them in the nice quiet corner where they are not overwhelmed by the number of cats or the sights or the sounds. It'll be a little bit more comfortable and relaxing for them. To my left here, it doesn't look anything like what it's going to, but our goal here, as you can see, we have this taped off, and there's going to be construction that will take out this entire desk, this entire soffit, and create a wall high enough to store the kittens, but from a certain point up will be see-through, where we can view the kittens, but the kittens have the safety and privacy they need to feel safe and comfortable and stress-free. Our goal with this space is to house anywhere from, say, 8 to 14 kittens at a time, depending on how many we're able to get, but it'll also be a very comfortable and enriching environment for them in there. We won't be entering that space. It's not like a play area. It will be more for the kittens to live in, which we're really excited for, because it's just going to be a really wonderful experience. I think that at some point we'll also be setting up some live streaming, or definitely be doing some social media check-in with our kitten space, that'll be quite a bit of fun. So if you want to follow me on over to this area, we walk into what will ultimately be our conference area. Our goal is to have a desk here where we can sit with potential adopters. We can go over our adoption agreements and finalize adoptions. We can do some training sessions with our volunteers. We also will have a merchandise wall where we will potentially sell some Cat Connection t-shirts. We're working on maybe some stickers or other little goodies that we might be able to work on, having for sale. And one of our biggest supporters, and somebody who we've worked with for a while, Rachel Geller, is our certified cat behaviorist that we work with. And she has a book that I think we will also plan on selling here, because everybody should know a little bit more about cats and cat behavior. It's going to be a win-win for everybody. So as you can see, the space up here is about 1,500 square feet. And once we get everything built into here, it's going to be cozy, but not too tight. When it comes to the amount of people that we'll be allowing in the facility, it will be kept to a low number, and that's just because we want to keep this as quiet, calm, and stress-free as possible for our cats. So if you want to bear with me, we're gonna take a slow tour towards the bathrooms, the back entrance area, and eventually into the basement. And as Ann warned you about, the connectivity there isn't the greatest right now, because our command station is currently upstairs, which we will be moving into the basement. That will allow us to have the Wi-Fi and then be able to kind of work better from downstairs. So bear with me and come along. In this big entryway you see here, per Massachusetts regulations, we will have a door installed here that will close off this area from the rest of the facility. And that is because all of the cats that come to TCC, whether they've been surrendered, if they've been trapped, or if they've been transported from out of state, will be entering our facility through the back door. And to keep disease control and stress reduced as much as possible, we don't want any interactions between the new cats and the cats that are on our adoption floor. So if you come through here, we have a restroom on either side, to the left and to the right. On the right side, we will kind of have a dual purpose restroom where we'll have a utility sink, we'll have some shelving in there, where we're able to work from upstairs to help when it comes to feeding, cleaning, and keeping the shelter sterilized and the cats fed appropriately. Back here, this door to my right, this is the entryway. Not a whole lot to see back here, but just so you get an idea, this flows into our back entrance. There's a driveway, not a whole lot to see, a couple of cars and some trash receptacles back there, but just so you have an idea of how the flow will work. So again, just to warn you, we are heading into the basement. I'm going to try to relay as much information as possible without us really getting too broken up. So bear with me, okay? So coming down into the basement, it's pretty much a carbon copy of the main floor. So we have about 1,500 square feet upstairs, and we'll have about 1,500 square feet downstairs. The main purpose of our basement is going to be for intake with all of our cats. We've arranged to have a large isolation/intake room that will be for every cat that comes into our facility. We'll have a mandatory 48-hour period in that room where they will get cleared by a veterinarian for their health. We can make sure that we can assess their overall behavior and see any vaccines that need to be done, any microchipping or care that they will need, we'll be able to do in-house before we put them into our foster care system or before we put them onto our adoption floor. So again, if you come down with me just a little bit further, I'm going to try to keep the flow as even as I can. As you can see, it's a pretty large space, so it might get a little echoey down here. But just to kind of give you a glimpse, Morgan, if you want to turn a little bit with me this way, and be careful as far out as you go, but we have a washroom that was pre-existing, which is great because this will be our feeding main command station when it comes to all the litter boxes we're going to have to clean, all the food bowls. So there's going to be a lot of cleaning and washing going on in this room, which is going to be pretty cool. There you go. Awesome. To my right, what we have here will be our laundry command station, hoping that we're still in okay service. Right now, as you can see, we do have a washer and dryer. Upstairs, you may have noticed, we also have so between the two washers and the two dryers, we're hoping that will help us keep up with the massive amount of laundry that we're going to have to do. This room will also help store all of our bedding. As we keep the flow.
Hi, Stephanie and Morgan. I just want to say that you're cutting in and out. So Morgan, you may want to take a step back toward the stairs.
We may be having a little bit of a glitch here, so bear with me.
Wi-Fi disconnection.
Okay, Morgan, if you maybe want to take a step back and keep the camera pointed at me. How are we looking?
I don't know.
Are we gone completely?
Okay, that's good. We can see and hear you now. Just Morgan's going to have to stay closer to the stairs. We didn't have a problem until she stepped into the laundry room.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
so as you can see, it is pretty temperamental down here. It is
Of course, as soon as I say that, you cut out again.
for overflow. The idea with this room is to have 4 to 6 cages tops where we would put any cats or kittens for a day or two at best. And the reason for that is, well, we prepare a foster home for them, or we wait to adopt some cats out upstairs. And it's going to be a very temporary housing situation in that room.
Morgan, take a few more steps back toward the stairs. There you go. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry about that again. So just to keep going along with the lines here. So as you can see, the room is already existing. Just going to do some final touches to it. It's pretty much ready to go. We're just going to add some plumbing for a sink, a treatment table, some HVAC, because per regulations in Massachusetts that we do need to have HVAC in every room that we've built. As you can see, we have a large open space behind me here. That is going to be turned into 2 larger rooms. The one closest to me right here is going to be our quarantine room. And with quarantine, that's basically going to serve as any cat that comes in and is deemed unhealthy, has a wound of unknown origin, or has any necessary treatments that are going to have to be separated from any of the cats in the facility. Of course, our goal is to not have to have a cat in here and in these rooms in the least amount of time possible, but at least we have the means to care for the cat should we have a cat with an issue that we have to quarantine. The biggest exciting part of what we have to offer down here is Massachusetts has recently made some changes to their regulations. And we kind of got to jump the curve with that because we hadn't finalized the plans for our isolation room. And our isolation room is our most important room because every cat that we take in has to go into our isolation room no matter what. So at the last minute, we were able to make some revisions to that room. And I'm going to take a step back, Morgan, you can hang tight here, just to give you a visual of how big that room is going to be. The idea is you can see where this room ends. Our quarantine room should come out to about here. So just a little bit bigger than the room that's already there. And then the rest of this space behind me, all the way out and into this nook over here, is going to be our isolation room. And because we also need to keep in mind that infectious diseases can become airborne and create a shelter breakout, there will also be a hallway that will keep any doors from being open that creates a potential for viruses to be spread. putting the HVAC in the doors, we're keeping it as airtight as possible so that we don't run into those issues. The state-of-the-art build, everything is per code. Massachusetts Department of Agricultural Resources has helped us every step of the way, so it's going to be pretty amazing. I'm really excited to see how we get to work with that room. Our goal for the ultimate number isn't so much the number at one time. It's mostly about each cat that comes in there has to be in there for a 48-hour period. So it's making sure that we can handle the volume that may come our way. Because not only will we be accepting surrenders as we have and taking cats that we've trapped off the streets as we have, I've also spent some time over the past few months building connections and working on relationships. We've made some connections with New York City, which is huge for rescue. We will be partnering with them for a transport partnership where they will be shipping up cats to us that can't be saved down there or would potentially be euthanized down there. So with that said, they would come to us as a no-kill rescue, and they would have an opportunity at a life that they might not have that chance with down there. So with New York City, we've also worked to partner with Atlanta, Georgia. I've also worked a partnership out with Houston, Texas, and I'm in the midst of discussing partnerships with North Carolina, Raleigh-Durham area, and Savannah, Georgia. So we're hoping that between all of those southern states where animal care and the thought about cats specifically isn't quite the way that we view it. And we're hoping that with what we can offer here in the shelter, we'll be able to save so many cats from down south that would otherwise be left out in the heat, not being cared for, not getting vaccinated, spayed or neutered. So it's going to be a really good opportunity for us to save a lot of cats. That's the most exciting part for me is these partnerships. So we've tried to do some tidying up here. As you can see, we do have some stuff that we've piled up. We've been reaching out to our networks, you know, on Mass Cats or in Craigslist and looking for help. And we found a lot of free things that have been donated to us through other organizations or people that have had some connections to find us some things. So we've gotten our hands on quite a few handful of cages, which will be great. That saves us a lot of money, and we'll be able to put them into some of the rooms down here because, as I said, the whole point of upstairs is going to be a cage-free environment. But with some of these donations, we've also got some food that's been donated. We've got some beds. I've got bags and bags of beds, and we've got cat litter. So this is just the beginning of what we're hoping to have piled up for donation. We have a good amount of space here to store some stuff. Our goal is to continue to reach out and ask for donations. We're going to need a never-ending supply of litter, a never-ending supply of food, and it's just going to be a great wheel turning of rescuing cats and helping everyone that we can. And we're really excited and looking forward to having you all get a chance to be a part of this with us, because this is something that not just me, as I'm relatively new to TCC, but the Cat Connection itself has been trying to get a shelter for about 10, 15 years now, if not longer. And so it feels good for me to come on board and to hear about how they've been working at this for years, and that now we finally have this. It's taken us a bit longer than we hoped to really start to get things moving, but we are starting to chug along. COVID, as we know, has really set back everybody's life. We put a halt on a lot of things. We're working on getting our permits. We're almost about to start construction. And once we start construction, we should be pretty hopefully, fingers crossed, full steam ahead.
Stephanie, we have a question.
Oh, yes, I would love a question.
Yeah, so let's, how about if you guys go back upstairs where the connectivity is better and we can start taking questions.
Okay.
That's perfect. That's exactly what I had in mind. All right, so hopefully you can all see and hear me a little bit better now.
All right, Stephanie, that was great. Thank you so much. Our first question is in the chat. It's from Robert Bishop, and he's wondering if there's any heating and cooling in the basement.
So as of right now, there is not, but with the construction that's about to take place down there, each room will have its own individual HVAC system for heating, cooling, and ventilation. Each room will have air individually in and out for its own room because they cannot be tied together per regulations. In the open space down there, we will also have a heating and cooling system installed so that the full basement is going to be temperature regulated as needed.
Okay, excellent. Does anyone else have any questions? You can type your questions in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask your questions.
We gotta have one.
No rush.
Okay, let's see. Hi, I'm Robert Bishop. When are you actually planning on opening at this point? Do you have any ideas roughly or range?
We have a hopeful date, right? But there's been some hangups. So ideally, we would love to aim for mid-October, mid-November, the latest. If things go even smoother than what we're hoping, we could potentially see the beginning of October. But it's going to be.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, there's so many variables and building and permits and setting it right. But I just want to get some idea, more or less.
Well, of course, right? When we started this endeavor, we thought, oh, great, we're going to open a shelter. Well, COVID had different plans. And then now that we've settled into COVID, the city of Boston has an idea of how they prioritize the things that they are giving permits for. So that's
Sure.
also, it's one bureaucratic thing after the other. It's not bad. It's just, it's slowed us down a bit. And during that time, unfortunately, it's cost us a lot of money, but we are going to recoup those funds by making our larger rescue efforts. And really, you know, we are all excited to get in here, hit the ground running, and save a ton of cats. And, you know, again, the whole point of this facility is for the cats. I mean, it is for us too. We're going to have fun, and this is going to be a great adventure. But more than anything, we're excited for all the cats that we're going to be able to help. I welcome any questions, please. And if anything, you can also reach out and get my email address or my phone number. Anybody is welcome to reach out to me with any questions. Obviously, as we get closer, I'd be happy. I live 10 minutes up the street from here. I'd be happy to meet you here. And of course, given that we can, there's no construction going on and it's safe, but to show you a little bit of what we have going on here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Looks beautiful. I'm really impressed. I had no idea what to expect. The facility is beautiful. I mean,
I'm blown away with
on-
excitement. I am so excited for everyone and for the cats. This is
this looks
amazing.
gorgeous. Well,
Amazing.
it's interesting because, you know, and Rachel can tell you, I'm sure you've seen and been, I guess you're not that far from Gifford. And I remember Gifford was pretty, you know, it was run down. I mean, it certainly didn't look like this.
Yeah, and you know, it's great because we're both excited to kind of not necessarily join forces, but know that we're both have the same mission, and we're gonna you know, kind of have a relationship with each other, so to say. And so we're both really excited to do this together as neighbors, so to say. But yeah, the facility is gorgeous. The location is great. Again, as I mentioned, the parking is free. It's just tricky. So if I had to say that there's one negative, it'd probably be the parking. But at the end of the day, parking in Boston is never fun anywhere. So at least it's free here, right? You don't have to find the kiosk.
You said you had a few spots in the back, right?
The back is a short alley that is for tandem parking, and we do share that space with our neighbor, Gyro City. So it's not going to be so much for a client base. I personally won't be driving here, but I think that they'll share space if they need to with, you know, maybe the president or you know, vice president if they're spending some time here. Anybody on the board, I'm sure, will have access to that.
Right.
I'm not worried about it, Stephanie.
I don't think it's an issue.
Mostly, if you go back there and look, it's not the kind of place you want to park. It's mostly just a way for our trappers to be able to pull into the back door so that they can drop off cats for heavy supplies.
Yeah. I still can't believe how beautiful the place looks. I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't expecting this. I was blown. Really, it's gorgeous.
And for whatever it's worth, it's only going to get better. I wish I could have painted a better visual for you, but like I can see it because we've been working on it for so long, and I get goosebumps just thinking about it. When I talk to Morgan, and we always are planning and discussing what we have in mind, like when I think about our opening day and having a ribbon cutting ceremony, like I could actually cry.
Oh, yeah, I know. Grateful to have you. It looks beautiful. It really looks beautiful.
It's literally a dream come
Thank you
true.
so much, Robert.
No, you know what the problem you're gonna have? It looks so nice that when the cats are taken home, they're gonna say, "I'd rather go back to the shelter." It was nice.
The care here is going to be top notch. That they're also these cats are going to be. I can't have cats where I live, so as the shelter director, every cat that comes into this facility is going to be my cat until I send it home. So that's going to be tough, but they're gonna love it here. That's my biggest goal, is to make sure that these cats have the best experience possible given a difficult situation for them.
Mhm.
Love that.
Yeah, it's
Thank
really
you.
nice. Thank you.
Love that.
Yeah, more than happy to. I can't wait to have you guys come and check this place out. I can't wait to meet you all and be a part of this vision together. When the time
I
comes.
have to, because I think you're new with Cat Connection, right? Because we never met, so you're really impressive.
I've been with Cat Connection for about 9 months now. I worked behind the scenes very quietly for the first few months, and since about the beginning of the year that I really kind of come on board. And I've still been working kind of quietly behind the scenes, working on getting some stuff together for the shelter, working on getting some volunteers together. So
I'm
day
very
by
impressed.
day,
Great. We're all really excited to have you.
Yes, thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
Great,
Honestly,
great
this is
find, yeah.
true. I feel honored, really, completely honored. So I really look forward to meeting all of you, and I look forward to being and doing this with all of you. Thank you so much for coming tonight.
Thank
I
you.
really, and if there's any questions, if you think of anything after the fact, I welcome you. I can share, or somebody can share my email and my phone number in the chat. Please reach out to me with any questions or concerns or any thoughts you have.
We just can't wait to come and see it in person. Yeah,
I can't wait either. It's going to be really amazing.
yeah.
All right, does anyone else have any questions?
I'm good.
Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you.
right, I think we'll go ahead and adjourn. And if you think of anything, feel free to send Stephanie an email. I've put her email in the chat. It's shelterdirector@thecatconnection.org.
Get that
Yeah.
down.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Oh,
Here it is,
Oh,
Shelter
and
Director.
that's my baby telling me he wants dinner.
I
All
love it.
right, I better go.
I think he's telling you he's been watching a video and wants to move in there.
Oh yeah, maybe so. There's no dogs in there like there are.
Take care, everyone.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye.
Guys, take
Thanks,
care.
Ann. Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks to everyone.